Welcome and thank you everyone for joining us for this very special presentation this morning on this dreary, gloomy, cloudy, snowy, wintry day. Thank you very much. Nice that we can be doing this via webinar as opposed to getting into our cold cars and going to a meeting. So we appreciate you joining us. This is the second in our week-long series of presentations featuring some of Calgary's leading providers of information, products, and services for 55 plus lifestyle. We hope through these presentations to provide you with ways to enhance your health, stay active, and live your best lives. As we gather here today, it's vital we also remember the peoples who've gathered here for millennia. This is the Treaty 7 land of the Indigenous peoples of Southern Alberta, the Blackfoot nations of Siksika, Piikani, Kainai, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, the Stoney Nakoda nations of Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wellesley, and the historic home of the Northwest Métis and Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. It is with the goal of reconciliation that we acknowledge the land on which we gather, and we thank the elders of these nations for their timeless contributions to this land. Today, we feature Calgary Home Healthcare and are pleased to welcome Wayne Peach. Wayne Peach is currently the sales manager at Calgary Co-op Home Healthcare and has been for 6 years. Wayne has been in the home healthcare industry for 4 decades. That's a long career, Wayne. Wayne started out his career as an equipment technician and then as a rehab sales specialist in Edmonton and Winnipeg. He then became manufacturer's rep for Invacare Canada in British Columbia. In that role, he did education and training of dealers, staff, and therapists on the uses and application of home medical and accessibility equipment. Wayne moved to Calgary in 2010 and has been working at Calgary Co-op since 2012. Wayne, I think that people may know that November is Falls Prevention Month. So we're really pleased to have you here. The statistics are staggering of the injuries that older adults incur with falls. Can you tell me how perhaps they can prevent falls and stay healthy this winter?
In one sentence?
Over to you.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just turn on my screen sharing thing. Is that sharing now?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
It's not to full screen if you'd like to go to full screen, but it's there.
It says it is. I am in full screen. I don't know how to.
That's okay. It's fine the way it is if you're okay with it.
Okay. All right. So falls prevention, these days, I think there's a lot of gadgets and equipment in the world that are quite common. And the last thing that we want to do is see anyone fall and injure themselves. And I'm just going to throw this in as a sidebar right from the get-go, that not only am I talking about this stuff, I'm living it. I had polio when I was a kid, so I walk around with a cane, and I am very aware of being safe and the consequences of slipping and falling. So, yeah, so basically the last thing we ever want to do is fall and injure ourselves. And I should have said before I changed the slide that I just really wanted to tie in Co-op Home Healthcare with Calgary Co-op, because some people don't make that connection in that we are just a division of Calgary Co-op, the grocery, the gas stations, the wine and spirits, car washes. So we are under the umbrella of Calgary Co-op, which is great. So anyway, a lot of accidents happen in or around the home and in the bathroom. And you're getting in and out of tubs, on and off the toilets, of course, in the bedroom, in and out, in and out of beds. And these are all places where there is potential to fall, especially if your feet are wet or you're wet, you're transferring up over the edge of a tub and things. So at the very simplest thing is we should all have wall bars. We should not be grabbing onto towel racks or other things that are screwed onto the wall in your bathroom, because those things were never meant to bear weight and pull on. So at the very least, it's a good idea to think about maybe replacing a towel bar with an actual wall bar that's been screwed to the wall into studs, so that you can literally grab onto it and steady yourself. It's possible to put these wall bars onto just bare walls, or we can put them inside of showers and most tub surrounds. Some tub surrounds there's a problem with, but we've got a group of installers that go out and are pretty good at finding studs and finding proper places. As well, there's a home care therapists that usually come along and help decide where where things might go. I wanted to throw my beware of the suction cup wall bars. People look at those wall bars and think they're going to be a great thing, but I'm here to tell you that they're really not. And I think people buy them because they think they're going to save having someone come in and drill holes in their walls and that kind of stuff. But I have literally taken a suction cup wall bar home myself, put it in my own tub surround. I've got good tiles. They were smooth. I thought it was going to work great. And I literally just pulled it right off the wall when I leaned on it. So call this a personal bias, if you will, but I'm definitely not a big fan of suction cup wall bars. And if you buy them, I mean, some people buy them and travel with them. So you take one along if you're in a hotel or something. Be very wary that they are really just a mild place to steady yourself. They were never ever meant to be literally pulled on. So that's enough about my wall bars for the moment. There is something to help you get in and out of a bathtub, or get into the bottom of a tub, because some people that get into the bottom of a tub are not able to get back out again. So there are a bunch of stools and benches and things that fit inside a tub, but there are also this, which is a battery powered, it's really a bathtub lift that raises and lowers, so you can sit on it, swing your legs into the tub. It'll lower you down into the bottom of the tub, and then you can have your bath. It will raise you back up again, so you can get in and out of the tub pretty easily. I'm going to be talking about funding, excuse me, about funding in a second. So we'll keep this tub lift on the back burner for a second. This is kind of strange for me as a sales rep. I'm used to talking to groups and having 25 people looking at me, so there's sort of an interaction. This is a little different. So, it is also, pardon?
I know, I'm sorry, that was just me.
Oh, no worries at all. It is also possible to replace a conventional tub with a shower or a walk-in shower. And there are lots of problems that happen with people trying to get up and over the edge of a tub that it just becomes an insurmountable challenge for some people. So I just want you to know that it is possible that you can get people can come in, take your tub out, put a shower enclosure in. So it's got all the bars and temperature controlled water valves and things. And that will make your, bathing easier. And really our goal, I think those of us that are in the home healthcare business, we are in the business of keeping people at home and keeping people safe when they are at home. So if you can add some things to your home or modify them so that you can stay there, we want to stay in our homes for as long as we can. And I don't think there's much more needs to be said about that, but I think most people like their neighborhoods, they like their homes. If there were just some adaptations there, then they would be able to carry on. So the other thing about the bathtub is that it is possible, and there are companies that will actually put a cutout into an existing tub. So they will literally cut the side out of a tub so that you can step into the tub without going up and over the edge of it. And some of those cutouts have actually got a door in them. So you can, if you can sit, you can walk into the tub, sit down in the tub, close the door, fill it full of water. I think most people that can't get up over the side of the tub would also have trouble getting off of the bottom of the tub. So anyway, there's a cutout which basically just turns your tub enclosure into a walk-in shower, basically. So I think there may be some people that just don't know that kind of thing is available. So I want to talk to you now for a second about there is some financial help available to Alberta residents through something called, we all call it the ADL program, which this stands for the Alberta Aids to Daily Living Program. And that program funds an awful lot of things for Alberta residents, basically. A lot of the equipment that you might need in the bathroom, in the bedroom, aids and technical things just to help you get through your days. These things are, a lot of them are funded through the ADL program. So I've put a number on there. There's the Calgary Access number, the 943-1920. And what you can do is you can call them and just say something general like, I'm having difficulty getting in and out of my tub or in and out of bed or something, and they will put you on a list, send a therapist over to your place, and that person will then help you figure out. Just a little side note, there's something in the ADL world that's called a cost share. So you have to pay 25% of the costs of things until you've spent $500. And then once you've spent your $500, then you're, then everything that gets prescribed for you is looked after. So, and the other program that's available is something we refer to as the RAMP program. And that is it's a government program. Again, it's called the Residential Access Modification Program. And there is $7,500 worth of grant money or more there. That's available, again, with the goal of helping people to stay at home so that they're not forced to go into any other level of care. So the government has figured out for quite some time now that they'd be better off to help fund a ramp for you than to have you not be able to get, into your house. So the ramp program has a grant, and they fund a lot of things. Maybe you need your doors widened so you can get through with a wheelchair. Maybe you need ramp access into your home, stair lifts, the bathtub cutouts, wheel-in showers. There's grant money available for all of this stuff. As is typical with government programs, there's an application process. They take a look at it and they do an income verification and a few things. But anyway, for seniors, it's a great program. A lot of the people that we do work for have access funds through that program. So stair lifts are something that a lot of people have, and we sell a lot of them. A stair lift is because people generally have trouble walking up and down a flight of stairs. And if you don't want to trip and fall, the last thing you want to do is trip and fall down a flight of stairs, which is even worse. So for just over $3,000, you can have a stair lift installed in your home on a straight staircase. Just so you know, they mount onto the stairs, they run up and down on batteries. There's a safety belt on them so that when you're sitting there, you're good. And there's a remote control to them so that if there's two of you in a household using it, one can ride it up the stairs and you can call it back down. The other person can ride it up. Some people put a basket on it, use it to haul their laundry upstairs, all those sorts of things. So anyway, there's stair lifts for straight stairs, and there's actually stair lifts for what they call curved stairs. So you can literally, as in this picture, go up a stairs, go around the corner, up another flight of stairs. So a lot of things are possible in the stair lift world. And of course, a lot of people, their bedrooms and things are on the second floor. So if you can't get to those things, that creates an instant problem. So stair lifts are definitely available. This is a picture or a slide of something that we call a vertical platform lift. And what that is it's like a little small, call it an elevator. It goes up and down so you can drive onto it with a wheelchair or a scooter or outside your home, raise you up and get off onto the deck and help you get in and out of your house. Again, instead of slipping and falling, tripping, going up or down the stairs, even to get into the house, that kind of thing is available. And then there are many different kinds of ramps that are available to get in and out of your house. Now, one of the things about ramps is the higher you're going, the longer the ramp needs to be. And we use the ratio of 1:12. So, excuse me, for every foot up you go, you have to go out 12 feet. So if the average stair is 7 inches and you've got 3 stairs or 4, you are looking at a ramp that's out in the 30-foot long range, 1:12 of 20 to 30 feet long. So sometimes they get so steep that it's just then more feasible to put the vertical lift in and go straight up. So then you could either walk up that ramp with a walker, or of course you drive up with a wheelchair or a scooter. And there are things you would say when you get onto the deck, or wherever you are, you have to get up and over the door threshold. So there's something called a threshold ramps, and they're little pieces of rubber wedges really that you can put on both sides of a door threshold, which will enable you to either roll your walker up and over that, or your wheelchair things, and not get caught up on the door threshold. And then there are these types of things. These are aluminum folding ramps that you can set up temporarily if someone's coming to your house, or you're going somewhere and you need access. So we call these suitcase ramps. They fold in half. They've got a little handle on them, and you can pack them around. So the other thing is getting in and out of bed. There are tracking systems that can be installed in people's houses that will literally pick you up out of a wheelchair and set you down in bed, in and out of the tubs and that type of thing. If you're just, if your grand goal is to stay at home and just modify your home, this is just something else that's available that would help you do that. And if you ever have home care come in and start to provide services to you, they're very concerned about their caregivers and back care injuries and stuff. So if that happens, they'll be doing an analysis of maybe using a lift or something to help that situation. There are also the electric adjustable beds. So there are beds that they look like an ordinary home bed, but you can raise the head, raise the feet, actually raise the whole bed if you want to, which helps you get in and out of it safely. Some beds are pretty low, and then they're just too hard to get out of. There is something as simple as called bed blocks. So if your bed is too low and you can't get out of it, there's blocks you can put underneath your bed that will basically just raise it up. So there are just an endless amount of things that you can do in your home that will make things easier. Sorry. I'm going to switch subjects. I thought 45 minutes was going to be a long time, but it's not a very long time. So we
have a little flexibility, Wayne.
There you go. You always think it's longer when you start. So I'm going to talk about scooters for a second. And there are many different types of scooters. Again, thinking about something that would give you mobility. And if you are unsteady on your feet, using a scooter helps you to not fall, literally. And there are different types of scooters. There are small folding take-apart scooters, larger scooters. I have a small scooter that I take with me on airplanes and cruises and things, just to help move from from place to place. So we've seen a lot of these different types of scooters driving around, and they really are a good way to get from place to place, and long distances or short distances. So there are bigger scooters that some people would just leave in their garage or wherever and drive around on them. And then there's this type of scooter, which they're really smaller. They fold up so you can pack them in and out of places. They have a range of about 3 or 4 hours of actual use. So you can put it in the trunk of a car and take it out and use it, as you want to. And there are actually small little electric wheelchairs now that you can, it folds up just like a lawn chair, believe it or not. So you can put it in places and then still have some assistance if you need it. And So scooters, they help you move around independently, and they also prevent you from falling, especially outdoors in uneven terrain. And um, and this is just another little one of my little plugs, because I'm sort of a part-time scooter user, is that there are those who have in their head, it's called the "if you don't use it, you will lose it" conversation, which some people, maybe they would say to me, well, you should be walking around, because if you don't continue to walk around, then you will lose the ability to walk around. And they use that as a reason not to have a scooter, right? So, but I've got another opinion about that. And I found this, where somebody's walking with a walker, and obviously he's eyeing up the latest, the latest scooter. But there's another it, and you say, if you don't use it, you will lose it. But I think the other it that you are losing is your independent mobility. And if you can't walk around any distances, your world starts to become shut in, and you literally stop doing things. And so I'm asking you just to think about not confusing mobility with exercise. I mean, there's a case to be made to be fit. In my own personal example, you can't see me, but if I want to go to the zoo with my grandchildren, there is no way that I can walk around the whole zoo with my grandchildren. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to go and enjoy their company and the whole outing. So there's the it of a mobility, and then of course there's the muscle loss and things to think about too. So that's just my plug. I have people coming into the store that family members say, oh, that person, we don't want grandpa to have a scooter because he just won't be walking around anymore. But anyway, that's my
Your point about them becoming shut in, I think, is valid, because I think if people are fearful of falling down, then they just stop going out.
Stop going out. And on top of that, if you don't have the stamina to walk long distances, then you just stop going to the Calgary Stampede or the zoo or the theater or to malls or all kinds of places. And so anyway, that would be that. Here's something else that's available in homes, for people, and there's a lot of them being sold, which is really something called a lift chair. It's been called a lift chair, but what it really is, it's a power lift and power recline chair. So these chairs will lift up and help you get out of them. Again, often you're sitting too low and you can't get. If you were just up in the air a little bit more, you could stand up out of it. And then the other part of that is, if you were in a conventional recliner and you pull the lever on the side and recline back into it, some people can't get back out of it again. You've got to push your legs down and pull the levers. So a lot of these lift and recline chairs just give people a safe way to get up out of a chair and often going. And when you're going to sit down, you don't have to plop down into it. You can sit on it, on the edge of it, and then just lower it, and it will sit you back down again. So there are even some models of these chairs that you can actually sleep in. They actually flatten right out. So I know I have some of my best sleeps in my easy chair. So it's, yeah, so again, as a fall prevention thing, these are good things. And these days, there are many, many, many different types of walkers that are available to assist people to get around. Again, if you're a little unsteady on your feet, and you can walk farther, you can walk safer. Some of them have got trays on them, so you can pack, move stuff around inside your house if you want to. And the ADL program, has funding for things like walkers and stuff, so that you can, get some funding for them. So there's a bunch of other things. The picture on my left is there's poles that you can get that fit between the floor and the ceiling. So you can put that pole beside your bed, beside the toilet, beside your bathtub, just something very sturdy that you can grab onto that would, give you something to pull on. And the picture on the right is the little somebody that didn't get a lift chair, but they just need something to grab onto to get up. There are lots of things like that to help you out. There are bedside rails that will help you get in and out of bed, something to pull on to help you turn over or roll over. That bedside rail slides back and forth, so you can come out on the side of it and use it to push on to actually stand up. Even getting in and out of vehicles is a problem. People, slip trying to get in and out of the seats. And so there are lots of little handles and swivel units and lots of things to help you get in and out of vehicles. So according to the schedule that I was given, I've got about 10 minutes left. So I'm in the are there any questions mode. And does anyone have any questions? That was an awful lot coming your way.
Well, you've got some flexibility, Wayne, and I'm sure that people will have some questions there. I had no idea that there were so many options. And it looks like that there's options for people with a variety of stages of mobility limitations. So lots of opportunity there for people to get help. And you touched on, it's so important that we do whatever that we can so that we can help people stay in their homes as long as they possibly can. So some of those features that are adapting the mechanics that you have in your house now, so that you can adapt them for your mobility issue and be able to stay in your home. That's most important. So, and the information about funding, I think, is invaluable, because I don't know that a lot of people would know that they have an opportunity for funding. So, so that's great information. Thank you very much. And we've got a couple of questions coming in here. Well, I'll ask one of the first questions, if you don't mind, because personally, going back to the very first slide on the handbars, and can you install the handbars on tile without the risk of ripping the tile out of the wall?
And the general answer to that is yes. We have got drills that will drill through the tiles, and then we've got anchors that that fit in behind the walls. We have a caveat in when we're installing bars and tiles, there's always the slim possibility that a tile will actually crack when you're putting the bar, when you tighten it down. Often sometimes when they've glued the tile, the glue didn't get spread properly, and there's a little gap between the tile and the wall. Excuse me. And then when you drill a hole through it and tighten the screw into it, it pulls the tile in and cracks it. And so sometimes those are just a little hairline crack, which we can just seal, but occasionally they actually crack the tile, and then you'd have to get the tile replaced, which creates a problem
That's been kind of my fear, and Val concurs that she got one of the suction cup ones and it just pulled right off the wall. It was useless. So sounds
Yeah.
like you need to come in and see you. Elizabeth says suction cups for shower heads don't work. My shower head has a long connection. It can hang high if someone tall wants to shower, or tuck into the tub bar to reach when I'm sitting in the tub. It's installed when the bathroom was completely renovated.
Yeah, exactly.
She concurs that the suction ones don't work so well. A couple of questions here. Anonymous would like to know, what is the cost of foldable scooters and how long do the batteries last?
Right. So the foldable scooters are starting in about the $1,600 range. Believe it or not, there's actually one up in the $3,000 range, a foldable one, and that one folds electrically. So there are some that just fold mechanically, like a lawn chair, and then there are others that the $3,500 one folds electrically. So they're sort of in that range. Most of the ones we sell are in the lower end of the price range. So how long do they last? On a charge, they last in 3 to 4 hours on a charge kind of range. My little scooter, that's exactly what it does. It lasts about 3 or 4 hours. You can stop at a restaurant, stop for an iced tea or something and just find a plug it in somewhere. But honestly, once I've sat on mine for 3 or 4 hours, I've probably had enough of it anyway. So probably 3 hours is the answer.
Brian asks, is it complicated to access funding, and can a stair chair be funded?
Yeah, a stair chair can absolutely be funded. You just have to get a hold of the ramp program. If you call the store, we can help you out with that. What the ramp program asks you to do as a user is get 2 quotes. So they get a quote from 2 companies, and you send the quotes in along with an application form. And if you're approved, like I said, there was $7,500 available. So the stair lifts are in the low threes, 3,200. So it would be completely covered if you qualified. So.
And Carolyn is asking, is funding from AADL dependent on income?
No, funding from ADL is not dependent on income at all. Nope.
Brian would like to know, how can I measure the distance or time my scooter batteries will last?
Well, that's a good question. Everybody wants to know the answer to that question. And the manufacturers are being a little bit vague about it. You know, and when they say that a scooter will go 10 kilometers, it's in an ideal situation and just a test. Just it depends on the weight and the terrain you're going on and all that kind of stuff. So we recommend to people, and on a scooter, if you don't know, there's a battery gauge. There's a gauge that's going from full to empty, if you will. We always recommend to people not to go, if they say your scooter will go 10 or 15, 20 kilometers, to not go on a 20-kilometer drive, the first time. Take it for a drive, get used to it. You can tell from the battery level gauge, some of them are lights. So it goes from green lights to yellow lights to red. When the red lights are on, you've maybe got 20 minutes left, kind of thing. So most of the scooters that are bought, there's an owner's manual with them, and it would give you some indication of how far how far you can go. Really, batteries are like gas tanks. The smaller the battery, the smaller the gas tank. The bigger scooters have got bigger batteries and will actually go up in 8 or 9, maybe 10 hours if you were driving around in them all day long. So that's a general question that lots of people ask, for sure.
Kind of like me driving on E and hoping the fumes get me to the gas station.
Yeah.
Bev has suggested that if you're a veteran, to check with Veteran Affairs about products they might be covered. Do you know anything about that, Wayne?
I do indeed, and thank you, Bev, for that. The Veterans Affairs covers a lot of things for veterans, for sure. A lot of the aids that I was showing, they've got funding for. So that's a very good point.
Brian is asking, what is the bylaw in Calgary regarding scooters on the road?
Right. So the rule of thumb is that you are allowed to drive a scooter anywhere you are legally allowed to walk. So you can, a scooter is considered a part of your body, so you can drive it down the sidewalk. You just cannot drive it down McCloud Trail any more than you would walk down McCloud Trail, you know, out amongst traffic. So it's just that. And there is no license, there's nothing you need to have in order to drive one, and you just take it wherever you can walk.
Good to know. Anyone else have any further questions? Maybe while we're waiting to see if anyone else has anything else, Wayne, I wondered if, given the weather today, whether you might touch on, excuse me, products to help people walking in the snow. I understand that there may be some canes or maybe some cleats you can put on your snow boots.
There are indeed. On walking aids like canes and crutches and things, there are little ice picks that you can fold out of the bottom of them. Some of them have got bigger tips, and you shove a little lever and 4 prongs come out the bottom, you know, so that you can. The problem with them is that they're good on ice, but they're slippery on not ice. You know, so the manufacturers have made provision to either put the pick down. I should have brought one to show, but to either lower the pick so it's sticking into the snow, or fold it up so that when you're on a hard floor, you know, then it becomes slippery. So there's those types of things, and there most definitely are the cleats or things that you can fit onto the bottom of shoes that add you know, add grip to it, you know, for sure, traction. So
well, sounds like there's lots of opportunities. I would encourage people to come by perhaps and see you at your McCloud Trail location. What is your address there, Wayne?
Yeah, our I'm going to throw a slide up in a second, but we're at 9309 McCloud Trail. We've got 3 stores actually. We've got a store up by Peter Lougheed, and we've got a store over on Richmond Road in Sarcee. So yeah, so
I've got one more comment here from Val. I think she's being silly. Is that your grandchild in the question picture, or is it you? There is a little bit of a resemblance there, isn't there, Val?
Oh, there is. Yeah, it's back when I had hair, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. If no one else has any further questions, again, I would encourage you to go to visit Wayne at Co-op Home Healthcare, and I'm sure that it sounds like he would be able to help you out with any of the issues that you might have. And Wayne, if you don't mind ending your screen share, I'm just going to do a quick screen share as well here.
Oh, okay.
just close things out today. And again, this session has been recorded, so it will be on our Kirby Center YouTube channel. So if you'd like to revisit it at any time, you're welcome to do that. Or we also appreciate you sharing it with someone that you think might value the information. So we appreciate Wayne, all the information that you gave us here today, and everyone for joining us. Oops, we had one more quick question there. Sorry, before I go. Donnie, thank you for the presentation. Great info. Wendy, very, very informative. Thanks so much. Getting lots of great accolades there. Thank you very much. I'll forward those on to you, Wayne.
Thank you very much.